Sagittarius, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for early to mid-November 2024. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business, as always, and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we could dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Saggies. Hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going, my guides. Talk to me. What do we got for the Sagittarius collective here? In early to mid-November. We're getting very close to your birthday, my friend, so I hope you're getting ready for it. But yeah, what energies, messages, insights can we take a peek at this week? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card, then we'll get into the full reading itself, and at the very end I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot, just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for the Saggies, please, and thank you. What's happening for my good friends? Please, what is the vibe? What is the energy? Thank you. Okay, yeah, this makes total sense that she's starting to show up here, and I'll explain her. She actually pairs with another card within this oracle deck. There's a lot of communication undertones here. There's also something linking to the past, which also is kind of like what we saw in the reading last week. Now, before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the November subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, into the reading. Let's talk more about this card. So we see this lovely lady in the purple dress. She has a nice headdress on. She's holding what seems to be a letter, looking behind her. There's also all these different birds in the sky. So in divination and in symbolism, birds generally represent sending a message. Also, the fact that she is holding the letter. So for some Saggies, there may be some sort of communication of importance that needs to be had or is coming up when this card leads off. And we'll see if we see those undertones within the tarot reading itself. But the fact that she is looking behind her, obviously that means she's not looking at where she's at right this second. She's not really looking down the line. It's kind of like analyzing things that have already happened. So just know, like for a lot of Saggies in this time, you might be taking some trips down memory lane where things from the past could cycle back around, which is kind of like what we were seeing last week. But there is also this really big focus on communication. So whether it's one that's coming in or someone that wants to have one, showing up big with this card. So we're just going to put her right there for now. Let's get into tarot. And I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. Let's get your 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for my Saggies. Let's see what's happening. And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. It was titled The Big Return. So remember I said with this card, looking in the past or things cycling back around, that's what was showing up in a very big way last week. So just know, there could be various things, whether it's people, whether it's situations, or things that are even similar to things that you've dealt with before. To me, it just felt like certain cycles bubbling back up again. So that could go on for a couple of weeks. Keep that in mind. But we're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid. It's never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or someone that you're linked to, right? Let's get it going. 3 cards here for the Saggies. What's happening in early to mid-November for my friends? Please. Thank you. Okay, Star. I mean, now that card's looking into the future, so talk about that switch of energy where this one's looking behind it, this one's looking forward. So the plot thickens, my friends. I do like the Star. I feel like this could be a very positive card, at least to start off a reading. Let's get a couple more and see what shows up. What do we have for Sag? Thank you. Chariot, making moves, big action, strong major arcana. So I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. Let's get one more out here, and we'll start piecing it together. For Sag. And the moon, so all major arcana. And we do have the mystery here on the back end, so we will have to talk about this, that's for sure. There is a mixture of air and water type of energy here, so there's a lot of internal energy. Let's go through, I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes, and we'll get into that juicy intuitive stuff. But at first glance, I know I was analyzing a little as the cards were popping out. Let's talk about some of the themes we're seeing already. Every single one is major arcana, which means it could be representing an important person you're connected to, or just a lot of internal energy, because notice these two back here are linked to water signs. This one here on the front is linked to Aquarius, which is an air sign, even though it's the water bearer. So it's like we have a lot of this either emotional energy or mental. It's all internal. So we'll see how it all plays out, because it could be very intense. So keep that in mind. Certain things you're feeling in this time, whether good, bad, or indifferent, could be a little extra intense when all this shows up. So let's go through piece by piece and really start to build it out, especially in a spread that has this much major arcana starting us off. These are big themes. These are powerful energies. So position number one, we are starting with the star. I love it. And I always say about this card, yes, it is wish fulfillment. You know the whole deal. When you wish upon the star, this could be a very good result coming in for a lot of Saggies. But a big thing with this card is it's not short-term energy. This is long-term. So we're not talking about this week. We're not talking about next week or next month or even 2 months from now. The star is long-term success, or it's a light at the end of the tunnel. It's a goal. It's something we're chasing down. This is also a huge card of optimism, seeing the silver lining with things. So there are certain situations that you might be dealing with now where it might be very important to pinpoint and see the silver lining. Okay. For some of you, like, there could be really good long-term prospects here. It's like the future's bright when this card is here, believe it or not. So I guess it depends on what it is you're going through. If some of you are going through tough times, just try to stay hopeful and optimistic and see a silver lining, because a challenge of the star card is that it could represent hopelessness, or somebody even being depressed. Like when this shows up in its reverse form, some of you could just be simply linked to an Aquarius, right? It could be that simple. So whatever Aquarius you're linked to could be prominent. Moving to the center, we have the Chariot. Very powerful card. Now, it is a card linked to the Cancer collective, so you might be connected to a Cancerian. And we see this individual on the Chariot. We have the one white Sphinx, we have the black Sphinx, and I always say this energy is moving like a rocket. It's shooting off. This is probably the fastest moving card in the whole entire deck. It could represent distance, it could represent travel, it could represent modes of transportation whenever we see this. So I think of taking trips and traveling, going here, there, and everywhere with this, which can be a good thing. But yeah, it's going. It's either coming or going. It's moving quick, and there's no half measures with this card. It's just very sudden, and it's extremely powerful and filled with determination. So when I see a card of determination and movement next to a card of having hope in the future, this could be spirit trying to push you to keep going or keep moving forward in regards to something. Now, what are some of the challenges with the Chariot? Sometimes it represents things we can't really control. Sometimes it could represent the actions of others or just things that are happening where it's like, okay, I'm just going to strap in for the ride. Sometimes the Chariot could be conflict, right? Because this card, always remember, chariots were initially made as instruments of war, right? People in battles, they used to get into a chariot and then go sword fight each other and stuff like that. So I always say this card could sometimes be conflict. So we'll see what it is, but it is moving forward. Like, keep going, keep moving, which can be a really nice thing. Now, moving to the back end, I find what I believe could be the most intriguing card of the whole reading so far. We have the Moon. This card I link to the Pisces collective, also Cancer. So we have this double energy of the Cancer collective, but it doesn't always have to link to a person. This is a subtle energy, whereas this one in the middle is like very intense. It's go, go, go. When we see the Moon, it's like very soft. It's very subtle. It's something that's in the background. This could represent emotional intuitiveness. This could represent energetic sensitivity. So just knowing this time, Saggy, your sensitivity to energies of others or energy in general could be heightened when the Moon is here. You might be having really interesting dreams as well in this card, and premonitions and stuff like that. But the biggest thing with the Moon to me, whether it's for good, bad, or indifferent, is the fact that this is the biggest card of mystery in the whole entire deck. Whereas the Sun card represents illuminating things and bringing everything to light. The Moon can obscure. So it could represent naturally unexpected things, surprising things, or hidden things. So we're going to want to look into this further, especially since it's here on the back end. So as I'm sure you could tell, all of these powerful major arcana have a lot of different vibes happening. So I want to dive deeper on all of it. Let's jump in and clarify. Let's get a good shuffle here for my Saggies, please. What's going on? And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on the star. And yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Saggy, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, star time. Why is it here? Why is the star here? Okay, I did one shuffle and the card popped out. Okay, yeah, I mean, this does feel good to me, and it's another major arcana. Surprise, surprise. We have the Hermit in reverse underneath the star. So speaking of realizations and revelations and information, when I see the Hermit in reverse underneath the star, it's like, okay, some piece of information could surface in this time that might help make you feel better. It's a very comforting type of energy, which is nice to me. But there is something here that's very shrouded in this whole entire reading. Notice the fact that the star, that's a nighttime card. The Hermit, classically, that's a nighttime card. We also have the Moon back here, a nighttime card. So there's this energy that's a little unsure of like what's going on here, or I don't know which way this is going to go. There's a certain level of, I don't want to say needing to be cautious. It's just like certain things could be blurry in this time, whether it's people's intentions or situations in general. Now, the Hermit, Virgo energy, so that's the zodiac sign that it links to. Usually in the upright, this is a retracted, pulled back card, and it's staying to itself. It's being in hermit mode, and it's like, no, I'm just over here doing my own thing. Forget the world. When I see it in reverse, it's an energy that's moving forth. So when I see it underneath the star, this could again be that little like knock on the shoulder from spirit saying, like, listen, Saggy, you're in for the ride. You're in it for the long haul for whatever reason. Stay positive. Very important that you stay positive, that you keep moving forward instead of moving back. Don't retract your energy like the Hermit does. Move forward. That's just how this feels to me. Like, because that's when you're going to get the best results. Listen, we're fire signs, right? Even though I'm not a Sagittarius, I have some Saggy placements, not my big three, but I have a lot of fire in my chart, and I know that for a lot of us, we need to keep moving. So don't let something, a situation or anything stall you out. Like, it's very important that you just keep pushing for whatever reason. But again, there is this vibe of, yeah, obscured or unsure possible information popping up. We're just going to keep moving because I don't feel like this is the main chunk of the reading. It's just spirit saying, like, just, you got to keep moving forward. Let's see what the Chariot has then. Let's see what this could be, because this could be the action. I really can't wait to get to the Moon. But let's see why the Chariot's in the mix for Saggy. What's going on here? We're going to get another major. We're not. Okay, we have the Ten of Pentacles in the upright. That's a beautiful energy to show up right here in the center. Okay, so I often say this, Sagittarius, in readings. There are times in this world and in this life and in this matrix for every type of movement. Sometimes in life, with certain situations, you should pull back. Sometimes in life, it's best to do nothing. But I think for a lot of you, it's going to become very clear in the near future that doing nothing is no option for you here. Like when I see the Chariot with this, on top of the message we had on the front, the Ten of Pentacles is expansive. It's wind-based energy. It's coming through big. It's level up. So I feel like you moving your energy forward, if you take the advice of what we see here, if you keep moving forward instead of moving back, if you keep pushing instead of pulling your energy back, you are going to get much better results. You might want to get a little more aggressive. Now, I don't mean that in like confrontational. It doesn't mean you have to go out there and start fist fighting and beefing with a whole bunch of different people. I just feel like you need to be purposeful in your movements, purposeful in what you want and what you want to achieve. I don't know why it's coming through that way, but the Ten of Pentacles is wind-based. So along with this unsure energy that we have hovering over the spread, we also have an undertone of things being okay, or things turning out for the best. I mean, the Ten of Pentacles, you don't get much better than that. It can also link to the family and home and stuff like that. But we are seeing a big win coming in, okay? Underneath the Chariot, it's like best case scenario. So I feel like that's very much claimable. I feel like if you keep moving, the results will be inevitable. If you keep pushing, the results are inevitable. Let's move in on the Moon and see what's up. I like it. I really do. So why is the Moon here for Saggy? And we'll do a quick little recap before we get into the shadow. So why is the Moon in the mix? I feel like it's very claimable here. So why is the Moon? Quick. Okay. All right. So this is where we find our little hiccup. And I feel like it's important to look at the context of whatever situation you're going through and just life in general and how things usually play out. And I mention this a lot to try to bring it to people's perspectives, because I know that people watch the readings for a ton of different reasons. Some people just like to hear me flap my gums and talk. Some people really need some perspective on situations that they're going through. Life, there's always going to be ebbs and flows. There's always going to be progress, there's always going to be setbacks. That's just how this reality is built. Okay, like there's dark, there's the light, there's the material, there's the spiritual. It's all about finding that middle path. But there is good here. There's a lot of really good potential showing up. But what I see here on the back, when I see the moon and the Knight of Cups in reverse, that's a bit of a problem, or a situation that that either has recently arisen or that will, but that's inevitable. Like I'm mentioning, in life, yeah, things can go great and you can achieve big things and you could get the results you want, but not always. It's just not built like that. There's always going to be problems that pop up. When I see the moon, the hidden, with the Knight of Pentacles in reverse, that's an unexpected or a surprising problem or a situation. And saw a similar thing in the Leo reading this week. Now, the Knight of Cups, when he shows up in reverse, can represent someone who emotionally they're not in the best place right now. So for a small portion of you, the moon, it's somebody that could be very good at masking it. There might be someone you're connected to that is going through a very difficult time right now where things might not be as good as it is for you. And I don't want to say it like that. I don't want to sound judgy or anything like that, because I see a very good positive energy here, but I also see someone that's not having such a good time. Okay, it's just showing up here on the back end. So I'm not hoping, I don't feel like this energy on the back end is going to derail you, or it's anything that's going to really completely throw you off course. My advice would be, when these problems or situations pop up, which they will inevitably do, unless it's already happened for you, because some of you, that could be the case. It's already happened. Like, it's what you didn't expect to happen, it's happened, and it is what it is. You got to keep moving. You got to keep pushing. And as a fire sign, I know you won't have issue with that. Let's go through and do a quick recap, then we'll get into the shadow. If you kindly look in the box, position number 1, we have the Star with the Hermit in reverse. Like I said, finding a silver lining, finding the positive in a situation could be very good for you. Don't pull your energy back. You got to push forward. Get a little more aggressive. Moving to the center, we have the Chariot, the movement, the action with the 10 of Pentacles. That's a big win right there. That's a good result. So for a lot of you, there's a good silver lining and a good result in the end here. Big win energy coming in a really nice way. I do like it. However, the back end, we have the moon with the Knight of Cups in reverse. So that could be the unexpected or surprising problem popping up. And like I mentioned in my whole little speech there, in life, that's going to happen. Nothing ever goes 100% to plan. Nothing is ever going to be perfectly fine and perfectly smooth forever. But I feel like your way through this is to not get caught up, not stop. Don't get stuck. Keep moving. Okay. So please take a screenshot. Let's see what's in the shadows. Let's see if we get a little more detail here. So let's shuffle it up. What's in the shadows for Saggy? Let's be nice and quick. What's in the shadows for my friends? And yes, I always like to pull one shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge. They could be a good thing. So let's get you one. And if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel. I have much love for my channel members. Okay, let's get it going here. What's happening? What is happening for my Sagitts? Okay. Okay, 3 of Wands. So for a portion of you, maybe there is something that you're waiting on when this card is here. But the thing that I love about the 3 of Wands, even in its shadow sense, is to me it's a card of something that's almost here. There could be something coming in where it's just within reach. It just need a little bit more time or a little bit longer. And with what we're seeing within the reading itself, yeah, we have a challenge here on the back end that's possibly going to pop up, but there is still so much good. So when I see the 3 of Wands, it's a card of manifesting and spirit telling you, like, Saggy, it's almost time. It's almost time. It's almost within reach. So it's like right there, right about to cross the finish line. So this could be, again, a very good result. It also links the distance and travel, similar to the Chariot, but I really do like this 3 of Wands. Either that or some of you, you're waiting on something. And with what I saw in the reading itself, it would be best for you to push and be a little more aggressive as opposed to just wait on the sidelines. So Saggy, that's what I have for you this week, my beautiful friends. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the November subscriber surprise. If you would like to book a personal reading with me, you can check out my digital calendar and book one on my website, mastermetaphysics.com. But for the November subscriber surprise, I'm giving away 2 copies of one of my all-time favorite decks, the Gilded Tarot Royale. So if you'd like to get your name in for this, 2 simple things as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments, out of all the tarot cards, which one do you feel is the most misunderstood? And if you're new to tarot completely, which one do you have a little trouble with understanding its meaning? You'll be entered to win, and at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab. As always, my friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.